Today, we talk about some Helldivers 2, baby.
Which is going to be awesome to talk about, but we also got some gaming news out of Xbox for the games being released in 2024. So with that being said, let's get it.
Hello, welcome to GG Rated. We hope you enjoy the show. Now here are the hosts.
Welcome, everyone. It is February 25th, 2024, and it's the perfect day to spread some democracy across the universe. My other host here is the Raging Cajun, the Thunder from Down Under.
Man, I feel like I should be walking out of a WWE match right now, you know, when you call me out. Guys, thank you for coming to another episode. What episode is this, Gray?
This is episode 28 of GGRated Podcast.
28. I'm Gino. As he was saying, the wonderful Gray is on the other side, my partner. We have some great news, some great content coming your way today. Thank you for stopping in. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that bell, hit that subscribe button, so you can stay tuned to all of our podcasts and all of our content coming your way. With that being said, Gray, how was your week, man?
Week's been pretty good, man. It's been kind of a blur. Been working a lot. Been, doing some stuff out at the land. Been playing some Helldivers. Been exercising for our Spartan race. It's been, full week. It's been great. How about yours?
Dude, if I'm being honest, I've had a pretty rough week. My dog Skip, the one that actually knocked over the light in the last podcast. Yeah, he
that's right.
13 years I've been with him. I had to put him down, so he is he's passed on and everything. And then you know how they always come in threes, Gray, right? The bad stuff. So the second thing was the dishwasher. Went out today, so I learned a new trade of figuring out the dishwasher. So I got that installed for the wife.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to figure out what the third thing is going to be. But hopefully it's the end of the week, so we ain't got to worry about that, So
yeah.
Hey, baby.
So I think it would be fitting for us to take a moment for Skip, and I want to show what a good boy he is.
Yeah.
If that's okay.
That. Yeah.
So I'm going to show him right here. I'm going to pull him up, and we're going to see some Skip. Let me pull him up right here.
Skippy, huh?
Old Skip.
Oh, you got the old video up there, man.
He's a good boy. Oh, sorry. He's a good boy. There he is.
You got the old video. Yeah, that's when he was younger. Yeah.
So that's when Skip was younger.
We had the laser making them chase. You know how you let the dogs and cats chase the laser.
And there's Addie. Is that Addie? Addie?
That's Addie.
Oh my gosh, dude. That is amazing.
Dude, Skip has been around a long time with the family, man. A long time. And then he's actually been my comfort in a lot of situations, man. Especially with the job I do. So it was definitely sad, but at the same time, I'm glad he's not suffering anymore. Or anything, but man, I appreciate that, dude.
Sure, and I'm gonna show Skip as he was, Oh, look at that good boy. That's a good boy right there. No.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna miss you, Skip.
Absolutely.
Skip is in heaven.
You trying to make me tear up over here, aren't you?
That's sorry. This one's for you, Skip. Episode 28 is for Skip. All right,
guys. That being said, let's let's get into this gaming news, man. Let's roll into it.
News of the week. I'm sorry, buddy. I didn't mean to bring up Skip, but I just wanted to honor him.
No, I'm glad. Episode. I'm glad, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
I know we kind of win the gaming news, but usually I guess we do the gaming moment of the week. But I kind of went into the gaming news.
Moment. Oh, so we're not doing the gaming moment? We're going to go right into the news?
That's what I was saying. I accidentally said the gaming news.
Oh, okay. No, this is the moment of the week, dude. My gaming moment, it was pretty daggum awesome when you and me and my buddy Matt. So Matt is a guy that I met on Star Citizen at a point in my life where honestly I needed a friend like Matt, and he's always been a nice guy. He's from Texas. He's really cool, and he hopped on Helldivers 2 with us, and we just had a great time, dude. One of the parts that I remember the most is when we were fighting the giant bug. I think it was the charger.
Yeah.
And I was on top of the mountain, kind of like shooting down at it, and we were trying to find it. Like, how do you lose a giant bug? All of a sudden, we couldn't find it anymore. And then it was either you or Matt was like, "Where's he at?" And the giant bug was like right behind him. And I was like, "He's behind you, dude." It
was me because I didn't move. And
yeah,
I turned
it was
around.
you.
You said, run, it's behind you. And I turn around and I just go to run, but I run towards the charger and just die. You know,
yeah,
it was pretty fun, dude. That was hilarious, man.
It was hilarious. So that's my
Matt
game
was a
moment of
good
the
guy, though, man. Matt, I have to throw in something on that. Matt, he's a great guy. We kind of in between matches ended up having good conversations. He's actually game developing, trying to game develop a game. So we're hopefully going to get him on the show at a later point, maybe kind of discuss a little bit about what it takes and the kind of steps it takes to be an indie developer on a game, and kind of get his take on that. You know, we promised y'all this year we would try to get a developer on here and kind of get their take on it. So, guys, make sure you're following the channel, and whenever that gets announced and he comes on the show, which he said he will, then we'll make sure to get that out there, man. But
absolutely, that's going to be really cool.
My gaming moment of the week, I have a couple of small ones. First off, no doubt, I have two situations. It's with you, playing with Matt and everything. Like, dude, it was awesome. It was. We had a great time. We played for a couple of hours. We had some fun. You kill me more times on Helldivers than they actually kill me. Like, half the time, he just throws an orbital strike at me. Anyways, it's a fun time, though. It's hilarious, you know. He doesn't even say anything, guys. Josh never says anything. You have to wait to the end. But that was a great time. But also last night, I believe it was last night or the night before. Yeah, last night, I played with Blaze and his buddies and his brother Bridge as well. And we played on hard difficulty, and we're not going to go into it too much. The funniest moment we had is Blaze landed. I mean, we were just getting swarmed, dude. It was absolutely insanity. Yeah, wait till you hit on the hard level, okay? And we had a squad of 4. We had a squad of 4, and he lands on top of the mountain. And I land on the other mountain, so I can see him, and we're both shooting down. They can't get to us. I'm like, oh, this is great. Well, I had this napalm strike that just lights everybody up with fire. Mm-hmm. Well, I threw it at this big bug, but I didn't realize that it was literally next to the mountain that Blaze was on. So I was like, oh, I'm not saying anything. So next thing you know, you hear Blaze like, oh my God, who just threw a napalm? And he gets catapulted off the mountain into the swarm of bugs. I never said a word until after the match. I was like, Blaze, I'm sorry, man. I did not
that was my
close.
napalm.
But
dude, and you weren't lying about the napalm. That stuff's really fun to use. Like, I finally unlocked it, and it's been great.
The fire in that game is beautiful, which we'll go into that a little bit later in reference to Helldivers. But the last thing I do want to mention is I bought the game Tomb Raider Trilogy. That's a remake. I wouldn't say a remake, but a remaster of the 1, 2, and 3 Tomb Raider games from the PlayStation 1 era. And you can swap back and forth between the new graphics and the old graphics on the game, which is really cool. But I don't know why, if it's such nostalgia or anything, but I played a little bit the first level of that Tomb Raider game and the puzzles and all. And I'm not a puzzle guy, but it was really cool to kind of go back and they really kept to the core gameplay for that game. So I got
and the deaths are pretty crazy, like how they kill her in some of the there's some places. There's one where I think she's floating down a river and she gets stabbed by a stick or something. Doesn't that happen?
I haven't got to that yet. I can't remember that, but I think you're right, because I've been seeing that trending as well. And they also say at the beginning of the game that some of the things in the game are not their views, what they believe in, but just to be aware of it, because, times are different a little bit now. But I got to give a shout out. If you haven't played the game, it's got some really good reviews on that game. Definitely try it out. If you like the nostalgia, you like these old retro games, because we are big about some retro on this channel.
Yeah.
Then definitely check out Tomb Raider. Definitely.
Absolutely. So that's awesome, man. That's been our gaming moments of the week. Please write us in. You can reach out to us on Facebook. You can reach out to us on email, GGRatedChannel@gmail.com. Reach out to us on anything and let us know your gaming moment of the week, and we'd love to read them on the show. What do you think?
Guys, go on our Facebook page, drop a comment on any of our videos or anything, or this podcast when we post it. We will make sure to mention it next week on the channel on the podcast. If you got any gaming moments of the week.
All right, we ready for gaming news?
Let's roll.
Gaming news of the week. So one of the first things I wanted to mention was, and this is an article that is from IGN, and Helldivers 2 was built on a discontinued engine, which is wild because honestly it runs so good. It looks beautiful. It runs great on the Steam Deck now after some tweaking. I got mine on low settings on the balanced video mode, and I'm getting up in the 40s, even the 50s. It's been great.
Dude, that's crazy.
So it says that it's been reported that Arrowhead, which is the game studio that made Helldivers 2, built Helldivers 2 using the Autodesk Stingray engine, once called Bidsquid, the same engine used to create the original Helldivers game that would first launch on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation Vita in 2015. And it was discontinued in 2018, which is crazy. That this game is hitting this hard on an engine that's discontinued for
2018.
Years now.
You think about that 6 years ago. You don't think about it, but 6 years ago.
Wild.
That's crazy.
Wild. And, to look that great and to play that well. And honestly, there hasn't been really any bugs. There's one bug that we encountered where you weren't able to get out your weapon again, but that's only happened a few times. And there's been other things happen as far as the network, but I don't think that has anything to do with the engine. It just has everything to do with the mass amount of players that joined the game all at once, and they just weren't ready for it. But supposedly, Sony is working with the developer to get things sorted out, and I will say the last few times I have joined in the game has been easy to hop in. I didn't have to wait in a queue. So that's my bit of gaming news.
I think they finally kicked out all the players that were idling in the game too, which holding up the servers. So I think when they figured that out, I think it's been good the past couple of times playing with you. So, but man, you're right, dude. I gotta hit on that a little bit. The engine being as old as it is, that's the first thing that we said when we got into this game was, man, this is a beautiful game. It's pretty cool. And honestly, I think it wouldn't think it'd be that hard to develop that, because you start with the starship that you're in, right?
Right.
And then you just build out the planets. And it's really kind of sad if you think about it. Is I love Starfield for what it is, but man, how can you imagine if a Halo or a Starfield had this mode on their game? It would be, it would.
Yes. You mentioned it when I think when we were playing the other night, you mentioned that this is what Starfield should have been, and I could not agree more. If Starfield was like this, then dude, it would have been like such a big hit.
So there was a developer, a high-ranking developer for Halo, during Halo Infinite and all that, and they have a lot of pitches. Okay, so I can't front Microsoft too much. I know we kind of been on a little tear with Microsoft lately with the layoffs and all. But, they pitched a thing just like Helldivers, Halo style, with Halo, Alien, Covenant, and everything. Yeah. I mean, that would have been sick, dude, to have
it would have been sick. I agree. And at the same time, one of the things that makes okay, I'm going to wait and I'm going to talk about this when we do our kind of, because I could go on about it. I'm going to stop it.
All right. I'm going to go into my gaming news real quick because we're getting way into it. But so my game news does come out of Xbox. Is I saw this this branch, this tree branch of games that's coming out in 2024, or that's been announced, and it's some really good games. And I feel like Xbox is really due to have some. I'm talking about like just kill the exclusive category that we've been talking about for years. It has to be like 8 years now. of, hey, they're about to get these games. They're buying all these studios, and they're just going to be releasing them back to back to back to back with Game Pass and stuff. And that's the thing. All these games will come into Game Pass pretty much. And, the first game in March is Diablo 4. Diablo 4 is coming out. So, so I just wanted to say a couple of those games. So with Blizzard Entertainment, you got Diablo 4. They're talking about World of Warcraft, Flight Simulator 2024. You got Hellblade 2, right? You have with Xbox Studios as well. You have Avowed, Powerborn, Age of Mythology, Aura History Untold. You have another expansion of World of Warcraft as well. Whiz Bangs, I don't know too much about that one. Age of Empires 2, another Age of Empires mobile. So you got to think about this. They're going big into the mobile space as well. And that's where a lot of the money's going to come in and the profits are going to come in for Xbox. That's going to give more money towards these new games, right?
Yeah.
So then you got the other side of it. You got Bethesda and Activision games coming out. You got Indiana Jones, which is going to be a huge game. It's exclusive. They're not putting it on PlayStation for Xbox. Fallout 4, right? Next Gen Edition is coming out. Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War is going to be coming out. And that's going to be Game 1 Game Pass. You already know that. Starfield is coming out with their first story expansion called Shattered Space. All right. You got Elder Scrolls, the new Elder Scrolls game. Call of Duty Warzone Mobile, which, that's millions of dollars in microtransactions for that game. You got Castles and then Fallout Special Anthology, complete collection. Some notables, though, for new platforms. They're all bringing Sea of Thieves, Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Grounded to PlayStation. Minecraft is already over there. And then Dusk Falls, I believe it is also going to be going to a new platform. So that's going to be more revenue. That's going to be a lot more revenue for Xbox with all this. I think it's some huge things happening over there. And I think if Xbox can actually pull it off this year and actually start releasing every month 1 or 2 of these first-party exclusives, I think they can get in a really good rhythm. And they can start making some headway on PlayStation, man. It's going to give PlayStation more of a push towards PC. That's what I feel.
Yeah, and that would just be good for us, right? Like, there's plenty of PlayStation games I would love to play day one, but I'm not going to go out and buy a PlayStation 5. I'm just not. So
yeah, well, the biggest thing is Helldivers, right? It's PC and PlayStation only. It's huge, and why is Xbox left out of that? Luckily, we have PC, right? And we're able to play it. But if there's a petition going around right now, I think there's like 75,000 signatures on this petition to bring Helldivers 2 to Xbox. So all it does is help out the gamers, man. And that's the biggest thing. Everybody wants to play a game. If you have a great game, why are we limiting these games to be played? Right? It goes back to your argument, Gray, about retro games, about ROMs. Right? Like if they're not available on these new platforms, why should there be any issue about you getting a ROM and playing that game if you want to play that game?
Yeah, for real. So, I mean, there's games out there that we want to play. Let us play your games.
Absolutely. But that would be the gaming news, guys. If you think that Microsoft is heading in the right direction, make sure you leave a like and drop a comment down below and tell me if you're heading in the right direction or you think that they need to kind of slow up and kind of get the legs underneath them a little bit. So, but that would be our gaming news. You want to go into the next section, Greg?
Yes, let's go into the next section, which is our main topic of Helldivers 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, kind of what I was talking about before, that Halo Infinite, if they would have went more of a Helldivers 2 direction, I do agree that would have been awesome, but also it doesn't have the same, vibe as Helldivers has with the whole like rah-rah war, excess of, weapons and democracy and freedom. Like, I just don't think it would hit the same with Yeah. I just don't think it would hit the same with Halo. Like, I think it would have been cool, but Helldivers 2 seems to have taken all these things and, like, meshed them all together and made this delicious dessert that could only be Helldivers 2 with those ingredients that they put into it. Like, it's sweet, it's also savory, and it also doesn't get old, even though you're kind of doing the same thing over and over. There's so many different ways to do it and so many different aspects to explore that, man, I think this game is going to last. I really do.
You know, one of my favorite things that happens with this game, guys, when you play it, is when you get the machine gun and you're just unloading on all the bugs, and you're just like, da, 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 and he starts yelling. He's like, you know, because that's literally what everybody does since watching Rambo when they grew up, right? So when you start hitting a machine gun, you just like, bah, 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 bah. He's like, oh, you start screaming, you know, and that's what the guy does every time he unloads a machine gun. So that lore that you're talking about that comes with the game, you're kind of right. You wouldn't have that in Halo too much, right? With that lore. So, but you would have the aliens, the bugs, the Covenant, the war that happens with Halo as well. You have all those elements, and I think if it came out before Helldivers, I think it still would have been successful, man, if they kind of set it up in that way. But
yeah,
Helldivers, you can't. I mean, you got to say Helldivers is, man. I'm telling you, it's the game to play right now. I know you bring on the screen Starship Troopers, but
so look at the opening scene of Starship Troopers, also compared to Helldivers 2. Like, I think it was you that told me that Starship Troopers has gotten a lot more folks interested in that movie just because of the game.
It's trending now. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, awesome? Look at it. It's literally like it's coming out of the game, but it's the game taking notes from there. If you look at the opening scene from Helldivers 2, when he's walking in a neighborhood like a subdivision, he's like, this is the place to be or whatever, and all of a sudden the bug comes and kills the family, and he's like, is that have you not seen this before? He's like, come join us and join it for democracy, you know?
And speaking of, dude, that facial animation that he makes, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
Some of the best animations as far as the face goes on a video game that I've ever seen.
Josh, like, does that not remind you of like The Boys? What is it, Homelander?
Yeah, he does kind of look like Homelander, doesn't he?
No, he does. In the way he acts, he's like, you know, after he just saw like his family get killed, and he's like, what just happened? You know, but it makes me want to watch Starship Troopers again, man.
It's such a good movie. I've seen it. You might not want to. Oops, might not want to share that part. But disregard.
It's so good.
Yeah,
it's so good though, man. And it's literally that. It is great. Fighting giant bugs. You know, the same as that kind of thing. You know,
and the thing about it too is they made it to be kind of campy and kind of satire, but people took it more seriously and thought it was like awesome. Even though it is made out to be awesome, the director was almost kind of making fun of like that aspect of freedom and democracy and, you know, all that stuff that they kind of go heavier into in Helldivers. The director of Starship Troopers was kind of making fun of it, but it turned out and everyone loved what he was doing. So it's also the same director that did RoboCop 2, and he just does a lot of so he does a lot of stuff like that, you know, where
I feel like that kind of
how to explain it, but
like RoboCop 2 the movie or the one that did the game.
So no, like the movie. So the same director that directed Starship Troopers directed the RoboCop movies. And if you watch them, you can kind of tell that, you know, where they go into like the news and just kind of the stuff that they say is really funny how he approaches things. But I love that Helldivers 2 borrowed kind of the best parts from that and still made it its own thing to where like almost everybody when I'm playing this game, a lot of people will salute after the match. Like I think
Yes,
everybody's into
they
it.
do that now.
Yeah, like everybody's
Me and
into
Blaze
it, man.
and his brother and everybody did the same thing before getting into the ship, the extraction ship.
Right.
Everybody salutes.
I think everybody's into it, man. Like
I
they
think I
just want to
started it.
be on the team.
I'm going to claim that. I'm going to claim this.
Yeah, they just want to be on the team. They want to be part of democracy and freedom. Like, it's really awesome. It's really awesome,
man. Come on.
What is
democracy? For democracy.
Yeah, for democracy. Have
Dude,
some
we're all
democracy.
feeling that 9/11 feeling, man, after what happened.
Right.
Just that feeling of like, man, for freedom, for democracy, everybody's dying to just let that out instead of being like, oh, I don't know if I can say that, right now.
America,
I don't know.
is it really good? Like, yes. Freaking awesome.
It is.
Freaking freedom
awesome.
is like one of the most amazing things that like there's never been a country like this that's like into freedom. Now, I won't say we do everything perfectly, but man, you got to admit that aspect of kind of what they're grabbing onto here is really powerful. So,
yeah. I mean, guns, bugs, democracy, freedom.
Freedom.
I mean, the only thing they're missing is drinking a thing of whiskey while they're sitting there, killing some bugs.
Talking about it. Yeah. So, and I will say that, how they've done up, this isn't even the same game. I think this guy is comparing this game to other things.
Yeah.
Who is this playing right now on this channel? I want to make sure I give him credit. This is Operator Drewski. So I'm just kind of showing some gameplay from his video, but man, I will say when it goes to hard mode, it gets pretty daggum hard. Like
that's
I'm
the first
able
time
to
I played it last night. Yeah.
So it's a lot easier to get past maybe the first level, but when it gets down to that last level, man, you will get overrun really quick. So
great, and
I
correct
think
me if
there's
I'm
more
wrong.
strategy has to be involved once you get to those levels.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you really got to have some players and teammates on your side that know what they're doing in strategizing and knowing when to lay down the orbital strikes and the napalm strikes and the Gatling guns, instead of just throwing it out there. If you know what you're doing and you have a partner that knows what they're doing and they're not killing you in the process, Gray, it really helps getting through the map because once you get to that hard difficulty, you all kind of got to work in tandem, like resupplies, reinforcements. Reinforcements on this game is pretty much buybacks. You get so many buybacks and they'll come back down in the hell pods and your players come back. But if you don't have somebody that's by themselves and shooting and everybody else is dead and they're not bringing you back to keep going, that can stall a whole map once you get to that hard difficulty like you're talking about. But
yeah, I totally agree. No, yeah. I was just going to go into real quick that I think one of the things that even we need to work on, and I'm going to actually exit this because that looks like doo-doo. I'm sorry for the guys at home. I was trying to use another camera, and it was bad. So I'm just going to switch back to this. But anyways, yeah, like I think when it gets to where you're starting to get overrun like that, it's because everybody starts to kind of disperse on their own because they want to get the most kills. But when it gets to that hard level difficulty, I think like we need to be like, hey, you put the napalm over there on that flank, and let's all work together on this one enemy that's really hard to take down, because there are, like, especially the automatons, there's these big guys that shoot out fire, and you have to get behind them. Like, that's almost one of the only ways to take them out. So you almost need a person with the shield that can stand in front of them while everybody else flanks them and is able to take him out from behind, because he's really hard to take down. So there's certain aspects like that I think there's deeper gameplay involved that we honestly haven't even discovered yet, you know, and we're going to get, like, I don't even think we're on the hardest mode yet. There's one after hard. No. It's like challenging, I think.
Hey, maybe so. I just got to the hard, but hey, I'm all in on it, man. I really am. I'm down for the strategy aspect. Being an officer myself,
Yeah.
we train on this kind of stuff about, hey, you move left, move right. I got this corner, you got this corner. Like we played a little bit of what's that game that we played, that SWAT game, I guess it is, where you and me was kind of checking corners. What was that game?
0 hour. 0 hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was really fun. That was the most we ever communicated between you and I. But with this game, it's not. I don't feel like it's as serious, but at the same time, you kind of need that aspect a little bit to kind of get through the level, right?
You have to stay cool under pressure because there's so much going on.
You can't just like panic and throw orbital strike and like take out your whole team.
I mean, you can, but
yeah, you
probably frowned upon by your friends that you do a podcast
like, what
with.
are you doing? They see a lot. When you throw orbital strike, guys, there's a laser that comes from space all the way down to the ground. So you're fighting, and Greg can contest to this. You're fighting, and all of a sudden you see a red laser coming up next to you. You're like, what? What is this? Oh my God, I gotta run. And you just try to run to get away from it because I mean you're about to get demolished,
Right.
But
and there's certain things like I didn't know that I was trying to put one of those orbital strikes on a mountain. There are like some of the mountains that it won't go right on. It'll move to outside of the mountain. So when I thought I was putting it on one spot, it actually went right on top of my teammates. So that happened one time. There's little things that you got to figure out like that, but it might take a few bodies exploding on the screen for you to figure it out.
Well, one thing I really like about the game is every day they re-roll. I guess you get so many credits and stuff if you play a good bit, and you can get new armor and stuff like that you can get that somebody else doesn't have. And I really like that aspect of you play more, you get credits, and you can buy with those credits. You don't have to spend money.
It's actually usable credits too. Like you can actually buy stuff. You don't have to play a bazillion matches just to buy like a helmet.
Yeah.
They're very generous with it, and it makes it more fun because like for players like you and me, we actually have a chance of buying stuff for
and
once because like I bought some cool armor. I just bought some today, I think, either today or last night. That was like, holy crap, I got enough to actually buy this. And I don't play as much as a lot of folks do. Like I just play kind of, an hour.
Guys, we're like
here or
level
there.
7, 8, 10 is
Yeah.
we are.
I think I'm a 10.
We got other buddies that's like 26 and 27 to put it in perspective a little bit. Because, we have a lot of different stuff going on in our lives. You heard about my week this week, but I mean, for you to get the armor like you do, and then the different guns that you can get from the war, it's called war bonds. Like if you purchase so many, you go to the next level, and then there's whole new equipment that you can buy, and then you can get these samples.
Use your medals to
your medals. That's it.
Get stuff.
Yeah, and then you get samples. And the more samples you get, you can upgrade certain things. Like for instance, you can get a recoilless rifle. You can get. You can just get a whole bunch of different things, man. It just keeps you playing because the more you play, you're going to get stuff. You're going to get achievements. One time, like I said on the later podcast, if y'all want to check out the last podcast, Gray shot one of these white balloon-looking things on the ground. When I was next to it, he launched me in the air like 25 feet, and I got an achievement for it for going 25 feet in the air after exploding. So there's a ton of stuff to do, man. If you got a PlayStation or a PC, man, I'm telling you, if you haven't tried the game, you have to. It's fun. We haven't had this much fun since what? COVID era Call of Duty?
Yes, dude, that is a good point. I would say what kind of what this hits like is the OG Warzone. Like the OG Warzone on what's the small map that everybody loved?
Rebirth
Island. Dude, it was
even
so
Verdansk,
fun.
Dude.
Verdansk is cool too, yeah. And I even played the Warzone before that, which I don't think a lot of folks played. But all of them were pretty good. But I would say the peak Warzone for me is Rebirth Island. And hopping in and out of there with your friends and communicating and getting that chicken dinner is so awesome. And this game kind of makes me feel that same bonding with other players that I know, even players that you don't know. I've encountered plenty of people on here that were pretty cool and seem to all be on the same mission. And my son is right here wanting to wave at the camera. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Okay.
Hey, buddy.
Go play Mario, you little stinker.
He's like, let me get some airtime up in here, man. Let me get some airtime.
Can you make it so I can watch something?
Yes,
I'm
but you gotta
tired.
wait. I told him if
Gray,
he's gonna be up here. What now?
Gray, I will say this with this game though, with the vibe that it brings off on this game. And guys, if you haven't noticed, I'm just throwing this out here. I know I'm kind of going. Man, we've been dying to talk about more about this game because there's still so much to look forward to in this game. And to find a game that you can play with your buddies, you can laugh about, right? It's not so serious. But at the same time, you can complete these missions and feel like you're doing something, right? That's why this game is so popular. And we haven't found this game since Call of Duty Verdansk. Like, they got rid of Verdansk, and it was it. That was it, man. So we've been playing these other games and stuff, and I mean, it's competitive, but it's not. Is that the best way to say it? It's competitive, I would say, but it's not. So I would give this game. Obviously, it has some issues and stuff like that, obviously, right? But right now, man, and I know I'm giving it a high rating, but a 9 out of 10 for sure. And I'm not. I know we're not giving ratings and all, but right now, the way it is and the way I feel about this game and the vibe that's bringing off is 9 out of 10. One of my supervisors, my sergeant at work, has actually been trying to get me to get on for a little bit. I've been trying to get on with them for the past week, but I've been a little busy this week, and trying to even get him to play with him a little bit. Like, everybody I know is playing this game that's able to play this game, and you haven't heard about that since Call of Duty Verdansk and Rebirth. You haven't heard that.
No, you haven't. And I'm going to tell you what, I'll give this game a 10 out of 10 if they bring mechs into the mix. If they drop in mechs like Titanfall,
let's talk about it, Gray. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it. So you sent me a piece of news talking about how that the developer has confirmed that they are going to bring mechs to the game.
Okay.
And
hold up, though. Hold up, Gray. Hold up. You started this, though. I think everybody should know that we was looking, and Gray decides, hey, you know what? Helldivers 2, they must have been a Helldivers 1. So he goes and looks at Helldivers 1. I think it's on a previous podcast, as a matter of fact. And he looks at the gameplay on Helldivers 1, and he's like, is that mechs I see on Helldivers 1? And he's like, dude, that would be awesome. So the other day I'm scrolling, and I see news come out that they are going to bring mechs at some point to Helldivers 2. So I had a screenshot that I sent it to Gray, and now this is where we're at this point. Gray is a huge mech person. He loved Titanfall 2 was your game, right?
Titanfall 2,
that was your baby.
1 and 2. Like the only reason I bought an Xbox One back in the day was for Titanfall 1, and I loved that game. I played it a bunch. I would say that it hit me much like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 did. Like, it was like my game. Love the series.
Good game.
Yeah, so anything mech related, I mean, you look at old 90s anime, I love all the stuff that they do with those with like mechs, Gundam. I mean, come on. I could name quite a few different anime where they have mechs and stuff, and love that. So if they would bring it into Helldivers 2, oh my gosh, man. I'm just going to have a ball.
Like, can you go higher than 10 for 10? Like 10 out of 10 at this point? You know, when you bring mechs to the system? Yeah. Or does that break the game? Does that break the game, though? That's the big thing I'm worried about. Is you got such a good gameplay going on, right? Does mechs mess up this game?
No, I don't think because look at the waves of enemies that you're gonna encounter.
Yeah.
Like, I think mechs is just gonna add to how much fun you can
You
have.
think it's gonna be limited though?
with these
You think it's
swarms
gonna
of
be
enemies.
a limited amount of time to be a mech?
Yeah, like I think so. I don't think you could have it forever. There's probably going to be kind of a cooldown time. And supposedly in this trailer right here, they show a brief mech, and I didn't even know that was a thing.
So Gray,
I'm sitting here
for our
watching it now.
Audio listeners that's listening right now, Gray has
Look,
a video.
Look,
it is.
He just hopped into it. It just
It
showed
was
a
a
little
mech.
bit of piece of
Yes.
Exo 44 Walker exo suit.
Yes.
Oh my god! Look,
Dude, how'd you know that?
Did you see it?
There it
Did you see it?
There it is. Dude, how'd
So
you know that?
I don't know. I just found it, and
Dude,
they
that
were
was
talking
awesome.
about it on PlayStationLifestyle.net. That's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah,
that
me too. Yeah.
So that reminds me a lot of. There's a mech game that I used to play on Steam. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of it. Please, somebody say it in the comments. Your starting mech they call them either the fridge or the toaster. That's what people used to call it. It's a game that's discontinued now. It's not live anymore, but was a really fun mech game. I could get stuck in the weeds trying to find it, but
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. We'll roll with that. But that, dude, I didn't was that the initial launch trailer that you just watched? Where'd you find that trailer?
I think so.
In case somebody wants to see that.
Was
that a launch trailer?
Yes. Well, yeah, it was.
So that's
on
no doubt. That's confirmed.
PlayStationLifestyle.net. That was a PlayStation trailer.
So that's no doubt
Helldivers 2 Report for Duty trailer is what it's
Yeah.
called. Hawken is the name of the game, by the way. There was a really cool mech game named Hawken. If you know, you know. So it's like, I'm into that, baby. Bring on the mech gameplay. Okay.
I feel like playing some Helldivers 2 with Toonami on the side with Gundam Wing right now.
Bro, I do that. ToonamiAftermath.com. I be playing it. It's over here on the side on my extra screen when I'm sitting here. If I could be in a mech while Gundam is over here playing, man, be in hog heaven, baby. Let's do it.
Guys, I'm telling you, the game. I know we've been talking about it for a little bit. It's you can just tell by voice. It's fun. It's great. It's an awesome time. It's really reconnected us with gaming a little bit. Definitely between co-op play and stuff.
sure.
So definitely check out Helldivers 2. If you get on and you're one of our buddies or anything, or even if not, send us a message on GGRated Facebook group. Okay, I do want to show one thing before you hit that outro. Great, I got to show one more thing. I got an analog pocket, and I'm going to try to open this real quick and show you before you hit it. This, I don't know if you know, but a new Game Boy game has been released from McDonald's.
Are you serious?
Yes. And it's a Game Boy game cartridge, legit, from McDonald's, and I bought it.
What? I got a Game Boy. Dude, how do you get that? What is it called?
Grimace, dude. Grimace birthday. Game Boy Color. Look at that. It's a legit cartridge.
Where do you buy it at? Do you just go to McDonald's and get it? Oh, Etsy?
Well, they had it at McDonald's, but you know how that goes. But you can buy it for like $10 from Etsy because people's collected them. And they're selling them. And I'll show y'all again. But it works. It's legit.
Is it a fun game?
I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to put it in my analog pocket. And
that's cool that it can play old games still on the analog pocket.
You know what?
Like that it can actually play the physical cartridge. Yeah, do it live. Okay.
Put it in my analog pocket. Let's see if it'll start up.
I want to hear the music and stuff too. And here I'm going to turn this down.
See if I can turn it. Oh yeah, it's on. Okay, I was making sure I had enough battery at first. I was a little worried. So, all right. So you hit play cartridge right here. Let's see what it does. Oh, look, it's starting. Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that.
That's crazy.
A Game Boy game in 2020. I think it came out 2023.
McDonald's.
Look, McDonald's. Look at that.
I'm loving it.
Loving it.
That's their old one, isn't it?
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow.
Look.
That's pretty cool. So right now it's showing the game, and that is like a blast from the past, dude. Like I miss
look at this
old games like that. That's amazing. Very cool. I'm gonna have to hop on Etsy and grab one.
Yeah, definitely.
That'd be a pretty cool collector's item.
Guys, if you don't know what this is an analog pocket. It is like a $200 machine, but hey, it has like a backlit LCD screen. It can play Neo Geo, Game Gear. You have adapters that you can put into it. If you want to see more about this device, let me know. I'll make a little short on it, and we'll go that route. But Gray actually has the OG Game Boy. There it is, right there.
I'm gonna play it on this bad boy right here.
Yes.
I'll play it on my OG Game Boy. Yeah,
does that still actually work?
I don't have any batteries in it, but yes, it totally does work. I got this thing when I was a kid, and
hey, listen to this.
Let me look at the date on it. It came in 1989 is when this model came out, I guess. But
you can play this game probably in the Game Boy. It'd be black and white.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Listen to this sound.
I got another one, too. Play it, baby.
Can you hear it?
No, I don't think it's picking it up. No, it's not. It's not picking it up.
I guess it knows.
You're going to have to make a video on that.
I'm gonna make a video on it, but
I got another Game Boy. I got a Game Boy. What's the one that's kind of wider? I'm trying to think. It's not the Game Boy Color, but it's the one that's wide. Like you play it horizontal. No, it's not the Game Gear. It's a Game Boy, because it'll take the old cartridge and it'll take the newer one that was smaller than the old school Game Boy cartridge. But I could play it in that one probably with color. That would be fun.
So let me show you this just real quick.
All right, I'm gonna grab my other one.
Then we get off of this. So
show me.
I don't know. I don't have it on there. But
this is the other one.
You have some Pokemon.
So the Game Boy Advanced is this one right here. Gino.
That's what I have in the back. Look.
Okay, yeah. Advanced. So I'm pretty sure I could put the new cartridge inside of here too, or that one that you bought off of Etsy, and I could get it in color.
Yep.
But as far as usability goes, I think that Retroid Pocket that you got.
Yeah.
I want
not
that.
Retro Pocket. The Analog Pocket, yeah. It's
Analog Pocket.
The Analog Pocket is worth it. It's expensive, but guys, it has so many adapters to it. It can play all cartridges, but also it plays FPGA, right? Which is it's an emulator on this thing that you can play ROMs. So for all the games, Super Nintendo, regular Nintendo, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, but I just wanted to show this game because I thought this game was just so cool. Being a new Game Boy Color game being released in 2023, I thought was absolutely stunning. That's awesome.
Dope. Yeah, that's really cool.
So, guys, if you like the episode, I think we'll end it with this. But guys, if you like the episode, make sure you leave a like, follow, comment. Make sure you tell us a gaming moment of the week. What is your gaming moment of the week? Make sure you leave it down there. I will tell what your gaming moment of the week is. If you got any questions, leave it on our GG Rated Facebook page. Great.
Yes.
Close it out, big dog. Close it out.
So be sure to give us a like, a follow on all platforms. We're trying to grow the channel. We're at 100 subscribers right now on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
We want to see at least 200 or more, in the next few months to get the word out. So let's talk about video games. Let's have a good time. We're going to talk about other stuff too. And just come join us. Come join the community. We're going to open up a Discord before long so we can chat and kind of share things together. So be sure to reach out and be a part of the community. We would love to have you.
Guys, y'all have a good one. We'll see y'all on the next episode, Sunday nights. Remember, Gino and Gray here. Y'all take it easy. Peace.
Later.